Museveni has defended Uganda's statistics that recently rated the country's economy at a level of middle income. Museveni says Uganda's GDP per capita stands at $1,046, requiring Uganda to stay at that level for 3 years before official confirmation into middle income. While inaugurating the Public Policy Executive Oversight Forum, APEX, Museveni appealed to investors not to succumb to corruption tendencies as a way of securing contracts.
That continuous investment is one of the avenues that will drive Uganda's economic agenda, is one fact that the country needs to embrace. This is one of the messages that the Fountain of Honor carried for vanguards of development gathered at Kololo ceremonial grounds. Museveni was here to inaugurate the Public Policy Executive Oversight Forum, APEX.
The primary monitors are really the office of the Prime Minister, the office of the Presidency, through this Minister of Ogwang.
In driving the country's development agenda, corruption remains one of the stumbling blocks. This unfortunately has affected investment, to which Museveni suggests a solution.
You see, the big problem are the business people also, and the investors. They think that if you don't bribe, you will not get, your plan will not go through. Don't do that. Those thieves have no power. We are the one with power. They only steal because we don't know. The moment we know, you will see.
Museveni lauds Office of the President for taking the role of economic monitoring a notch higher, aligning it with the APEX platform framework.
I think the problem was that this office of Ogwang was not being used fully. The people who were there, they were not. It's a very important ministry, but people were neglecting it. I don't know why. It's very powerful because you go, as long as you have got fuel, you drive, you have all the information in your data. There's a plan here for the health center city. Where is it? Very easy.
With this on course, Uganda will maintain its middle income status, which he says the country has already attained.
The economy is growing. Our data about our country is that we are now at a GDP per capita of $1,046, and that is already in the middle income bracket. But we need to stay there for 3 more years, or go up to be declared officially.
Earlier, State Minister for Economic Monitoring, Peter Ogwang, highlighted strides made in the 23 directives made by the President as at 31st December 2021.
So days for us to eat government money and don't account and don't follow up are over. I call upon you to commit to work for your government so that we can help our people achieve the desired goal of moving into a middle income status.
All ministers agree that this is a step in the right direction, extending services closer to the people as well as steering economic development.
It has identified the challenges, it has made the recommendations. So let us really embrace it for us to improve on service delivery.
And I also entice other politicians, right from the LOC5 councillors and my fellow MPs, to make sure we do the work jointly. Cohesion is the way to go, and the value for money is what we must stress.
The message is outside there that the people, the Ugandans, should not accept to bribe anybody who wants to give them any contract. So we need to work together with fellow citizens so that we fight corruption with this Apex platform.
The Public Policy Executive Oversight Forum Apex was inaugurated under the theme, Taking Leadership, Public Policy Management and Promotion of Good Governance Practices. Henry Okrut, UBC.
President Yoweri Museveni has said he welcomes the idea of the new hydrogen technology initiative by visiting American actor Terence Dashon Howard and his wife Mira Park, who are in Uganda to explore Uganda's tourism potential and investment opportunities in technology. The couple paid a courtesy call on President Museveni at State Lodge Nakasero, where they held a jovial discussion with the president. The couple will visit different parts of the country to explore the beauty of the countryside and explore Uganda's magnificent tourism potential, among others. Mr. Terence is also looking for investment opportunities in the fields of technology. He says that he wants to start up a new hydrogen technology plant in Uganda, which will be the first of its kind in Africa. Some hydrogen technologies are and could have a role in preventing and a possible future. Hydrogen is a chemical widely used in various applications, including production and energy. Mr. Terence Howard, who is a professional in science and technology, revealed that he has been practicing his profession, especially in the field of research, at the same time doing his film acting. His debut album was released in September 2008. In September 2019, Howard announced that he had retired from acting as he was tired of pretending. The meeting was attended by Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Honorable Joyce Sabugwao, Minister of State for Information, Communications and Technology, Abiwa Lusimbi, Presidential Advisor on Diaspora Affairs, among others.
So, I give you land. How much land do you need?
Oh my God. Can I catch my breath?
Thank you so much. So, you are most welcome.
The First Lady, I read her book and I was not read off. But I wanted to give that to her. I heard that you went to North Korea.
From Kyungshu.
Oh.
In other activities of the state, the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja, has held a meeting with Karamoja sub-region members of Parliament as a follow-up on the famine crisis in the sub-region. The meeting took place at the office of the Prime Minister here in Kampala.
A consignment of 200 tons of relief food has been dispatched to Karamoja sub-region. This is in response to the persistent hunger crisis affecting the people in Karamoja. Prime Minister Robin Anabanja disclosed this while holding a meeting with Karamoja sub-region members of Parliament in Kampala. She said food will be distributed at sub-counties to ensure transparency.
I want to thank my government, the President, who took it over upon himself. He guided and said our people cannot die of hunger. So we are also working with stakeholders, that is World Food Program, UNICEF, Food Agriculture Organization, that is FAO, to support and address food shortage in Karamoja. My office will closely work with you, honorable members, to ensure that challenges of food shortages in the region are fully addressed.
The portion of famine in Karamoja was also discussed in Cabinet, and the Finance Ministry was tasked to urgently provide 135 billion shillings to procure food items and dispatch it to Karamoja.
Providing food all the time is not sustainable. It is not. And therefore, we agreed that we need to provide seeds and seedlings and also technical support where where possible, we also wanted to find out how we can provide mechanized tractors, so that we can use tractors to, you know, to plow bigger chunks of land and plant, and we call this issue of hunger history. So you have a lot of support from the Minister of Agriculture, a lot of support from the Prime Minister's office, but we also need to change the minds of our people.
The recent upsurge in insecurity in Karamoja has worsened the famine situation, with families hesitant to go to their gardens to cultivate. The Minister for Disaster, Hilary Onek, noted concerns about transparency in food relief distribution. He assured Karamoja MPs that the Office of the Prime Minister will always ensure transparency. He invited the MPs to participate in monitoring the food distribution.
You as the leaders of Karamoja wanted to question yourself, what has happened? Okay, insecurity has come. Government has tried its best to disarm, to enable Karamoja to be peaceful. But that solution, currently again, this upsurge of insecurity has come up in Karamoja, which is very sad to us, people who live also in that situation of insecurity. In my area in the north, when during the LRA insurgency, many people lost their lips, their legs, people were killed. If you are found riding a bicycle, your 2 legs are cut off. I mean, people suffered, were all interned in IDP. But what we did as politicians of the area, we all agreed collectively, whether opposition to NRM or whether those with government like us, we mobilized as a team that we want peace.
Karamoja region members of parliament also disclosed that there was some observable levels of corruption tendencies in the recent distribution of goats in Karamoja, a project launched by the president. Others who attended the meeting included the Minister for Karamoja, Dr. Mary Goret Kitutu, and State Minister for Karamoja, Agnes Nandutu.
Parliament is to investigate allegations that Minister of State for Lands Persis Namuganza demeaned the operations of Parliament of Uganda through various media channels. It is alleged that Minister Namuganza, who was recently faulted by a Parliament ad hoc committee report on the allocation of Nakawa and Agro land, decided to respond rudely through the media with statements degrading the reputation of the August House. Solomon Silwanyi, the Bukoli Division Central Member of Parliament, raised the matter, which has been forwarded to the Parliament Committee on Rules and Privileges for examination.
Recently, Parliament adopted with amendment a report on the allocation of Nakawa and Agro land, which, among others, faulted the Minister of State for Lands, Persis Namuganza, who directed Uganda Land Commission to allocate land to entities on purported presidential directive. The ad hoc committee, which was chaired by Dan Kimosho, recommended that Minister Namuganza be held accountable for abuse of office for misguiding ULC.
And the fact that she did not step aside and she's continuing to denigrate the image of Parliament speaks volumes.
It is alleged that since then, the Bukono constituency member of Parliament, Persis Namuganza, has on several occasions quoted over the media, making statements which puts down the reputation of Parliament. In a matter of procedure raised by Bukoli's Central Member of Parliament, Solomon Silwanyi, the allegations cannot go unnoticed.
Because when you touch the integrity of Parliament, when you touch the presiding officers, you are touching.
She said, these so-called ad hoc committees of Parliament, that is one statement. What are they for? When we have committees. But she also posted that ad hoc committees are created in bad faith.
Despite Kira Municipality Member of Parliament Ibrahim Semujunganda describing the allegations as positive criticism, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa thinks otherwise.
Because the members took Parliament to court, and the court said that Parliament does not have power to ask a minister to step aside. Parliament has powers to censure a minister, but to recommend that someone steps aside, that matter was resolved in the Amama Mbaba's case. So some of the recommendations are very difficult to implement.
Honorable Semuju,
the day the decisions of this House are ridiculed. There is a difference between criticism and ridicule. Yeah, we don't fear criticism. We are criticized every day. For us, I think in a day I'm criticized like 1,000 times. That's part of our life.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Taiba referred the matter to the Committee on Rules and Privileges to further the investigations. Butambala woman Member of Parliament Aisha Kabanda also tabled a letter claiming that it was written by the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakoba, to the Inspector General of Police, asking for security to the Company of Internal Medicine of Virginia to reclaim land, yet the Parliament Ad hoc Committee recommended that the land prior allocated to Internal Medicine of Virginia be retrieved back to government.
It also perturbs to see government offering security. You need to question who is behind this organization. Who are they?
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance has held a two-day workshop on digitalizing Uganda, Digital Uganda Vision, to finalize the document to accelerate progress towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Michael Ochero, Acting Commissioner, E-Services at the Ministry of ICT. Michael Ochero highlighted that technology is a fundamental force for change in Uganda, whereby the use of internet and digital platforms to transact business and offer services will impact almost every aspect of development.
Now, our locals to develop some of these services such that we substitute. It's like import substitution, where we actually develop our own system. So it's easier to maintain them once we have developed them ourselves. Presently, government is leading in this, and we have several government services that have been developed by our locals. We have those in education, we have those in procurement, we have...
All of you Ugandans remember during COVID-19, all of us, we are locked at home. What made us connect to our fellow Ugandans was technology, Zooming, using internet, and those who are not able to have electricity and internet, using radio and television and many other ways to communicate.
Things to do, but there's a question on what does what.
Moving on, Judicial District NRM Executive Committee has resolved to support the NRM candidate Eddie Kwizera in Bukimbiri County by-election. The resolution was after a 3-hour closed-door reconciliatory meeting with the NRM Director Communications Emmanuel Dombo. Previously, there were reports of intrigue and division among the NRM top leadership in Chisoro, where some of them were in favor of Asangiri or Tuyagenda against the incumbent Eddie Kwizera.
The NRM Director of Communication, Emmanuel Dombo, has reconciled Kisoro District NRM members who have been rankling over which candidate to support for Bukimbiri County by-election. After a 3-hour closed-door meeting, the district NRM leaders, led by Chairman Dr. Philemon Mateke, explained to the media that they have now resolved to support and campaign for incumbent Eddie Kwizera in the forthcoming Bukimbiri by-election.
We have also resolved to invite all members of Parliament and other leaders to come and we discuss so as to identify if there are any issues that we may need to discuss and resolve.
The NRM candidate in Bukimbiri by-election, Eddie Kwizera, received the news with joy, saying Yellow Party's destiny for a victory.
I am more motivated by the encouragement, by the good words the members of the DEC has given me, and actually I'm surprised that they have told me to go on a holiday. They are going to take over the campaign. So now that they have said Kwizera as a candidate, you go to sleep, go and rest. The task is now on the executive of NRM and all the structures from the district, from national level up to the grassroots. I am very grateful.
The party's Director Communications, Emmanuel Dombo, commended the leaders for the spirit of unity and pledged the party's support in consolidating the unity.
The campaign process
advanced campaign process preparation and preparation of the candidate has now been started. We are going to ensure the candidates' papers for nomination are set. The candidates say we are going to prepare a conference, expanded conference, where the candidate who is going to be officially unveiled to the people of Buchimbiri, in the Buchimbiri constituency. And then, once the candidate is nominated, if he has done all the paperwork, then, like you have heard, the district executive committee will constitute itself into the task force, expanded by other members from the sub-counties, for them to look for the votes for Honorable Eddie Kwizera Wagahugu, the flag bearer, NRM flag bearer for Buchimbiri County.
Bukimpiri by-election is selected for August, and it came as a result of a Court of Appeal ruling emanating from a mix-up of candidates' names in the 2021 general elections. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kisoro.
Uganda People's Congress has forwarded 8 names of candidates interested in the Yala elections for vetting and endorsement in a bid aimed at getting the party flag bearer. According to the party spokesperson, Mzee Faizo, this is a resolution of the party cabinet.
Uganda People's Congress recently embarked on the process of assembling candidates for the Yala elections. This is in line with the various activities the party has conducted.
The cabinet carried out a successful vetting exercise on 11th July 2022 at UPC party headquarters to do a conclusive evaluation of candidates for the job. All the 8 candidates turned up, and the vetting process involved both the viewing of documents and face-to-face interviews.
The head of media and communications at UPC, Mzee Faizo, says eligible candidates for the race will be presented before the UPC Parliamentary Group by the Office of the Chairman, Party Electoral Commission.
After a thorough analysis and scrutiny of the documents as well as attentive listening to all the 8 candidates by the party cabinet, the vetting committee, which is the party cabinet, was convinced and unanimously resolved that all the candidates, namely Honorable Wilfred, Mr. Ediau Samuel, Mr. Calvin Ogwang, Mr. Omiat Andrew, and Mrs. Atim Brenda Kinyela were technically competent for the position of Member of Parliament for the East African Legislative Assembly.
This was arrived at following the 3rd to 8th February 2022 elections that nominated 8 candidates, whom the cabinet will then forward to the parliamentary group by the Office of the Party Electoral Commission. The Assistant Secretary General UPC, Ben Bakabulindi Chikongo, says that the election process will involve activities to prepare the best candidates who will compete for the final race.
As of now, we are going to take them to Parliament. From there, everybody will be given a time to express himself, and a secret ballot is going to be effected. The one who gathers the most number of votes will be our candidate, and there will be no question, and that one will have to go to the floor of Parliament, which is the plenary, to compete with other candidates from NRM, FDC, and elsewhere.
In another development, Faizo commented on the rising cases of hunger in most parts of the country, which he says government should intervene.
We are aware, or we have been already informed, that the government has earmarked 135 billion for food relief in the said sub-region. However, this is not sustainable. We shouldn't prepare an environment or cause an impression that we shall just be going for food relief. Instead, we should concentrate on making our people able to feed themselves, to feed for their family.
The Uganda People's Congress has been involved in various activities in the country, ranging from political, social, and economic affairs.
The meeting between Parliament's Finance Committee and Ministry of Finance officials ended prematurely after Minister Henry Musasizi failed to present a resolution from Rocco Construction Limited allowing to sell $150,000 worth 207 billion shillings shares to government of Uganda.
While appearing before Parliament's Committee of Finance, State Minister for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, told the committee members that ROCO is faced with severe liquidity challenges that have constrained its ability to execute many contracted projects. He said buying shares is part of the measures to build the capacity of local firms.
We need stronger justification for government of Uganda to enter into acquisition of shares in a company, ROCO, that is in the brink of collapse. You can only pay premiums when you are very certain that the book value of the shares is quite lower than the market value.
We want to have a stake in the governance and management of ROCO. We think as government we should have a stake in the construction industry. And the only way we can do it is investing in some of the companies like ROCO, which already has a name, which is already leading. Until when it got problems, ROCO was the leading construction company in Uganda.
Members of Parliament wonder why the Ministry of Finance is refusing to go with the President's directive of buying equity shares, but instead decided to go for preference shares.
So they followed intrusion and now say, okay, we can go for preferential shares. So what informed them? One, to move away from equity, failed to do due diligence, and now they are coming to Parliament for bailout.
Legislators also question why Minister of Finance is buying each share at 1 million, yet ROCO sells each one of them at 200,000 shillings.
I have the documents here. But if they tell us they are buying shares at 1 million shillings, they are buying 150,000 shares which do not exist because this closes them out. They are not there. They are going to create new shares which don't exist anywhere.
The minister's submission said there's a confidentiality clause, and that's why I'm saying that's not right. We must know who is demanding from this company.
After the minister failed to answer several questions to MP's satisfaction, the meeting ended prematurely because he also failed to avail the committee with ROCO company resolution permitting the creation of 150,000 preference shares for sale to government.
Now, for government to be clear, and this story can change, you need a registered resolution. A registered resolution is what is admissible at this stage.
We are aware that this resolution must be acquired and the process is on. As long as Parliament clears us, before we sign with them, we shall ensure procedure.
Shamim Naiga and Gloria Gutabenji, UBC News.
Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Oh, Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello, is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Mama Naka, give me some chips. Add sausage, kebab, and please don't forget tomato sauce.
Mama Nak, serve me boiled cassava
add some yam, a little matoke, and I want more greens. You know, greens are good for my body.
But you man also you're too stingy. You're always eating cassava greens. When will you ever eat on your money?
You see, my friend, eating organic food is good. That food is so important for our bodies. And I advise you too, my friend. Please, stop eating chemically generated foods.
Pelham Uganda, the co-host of the Knowledge Hub for Organic Agriculture in Eastern Africa, KHEA, under the lead coordinating agency, BioVision Africa Trust Kenya, has launched a hashtag Know What You Eat campaign with the objective of raising awareness on the dangers of consuming inorganic products. For more information, visit www.pelhamuganda.org or visit KHEA social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Know What You Eat campaign is brought to you by Pelham Uganda, BioVision Africa, KHEA.
A World Cup in the desert? The first one in the Middle East. The first to be held at the end of the year? That's crazy. Get ready for spectacular moves. High-flying saves. Unbelievable goals. Out of this world celebration.
Would you believe it? What a moment here!
All 64 matches live. That's over 5,000 action-packed minutes of the FIFA 2022 World Cup Qatar. Now that's crazy. Catch all the action only on SuperSport, your world of champions. On Gold TV, love it.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using 2Gabane. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are you a young entrepreneur aged 18 to 35 with a startup that is looking for technical, business support, access to international markets, and direct financial support? Hive Collab in partnership with Cosme, ITC, and Moit and Anita Uganda is implementing the Youth Startup Academy in Uganda, YSAU, that will drive growth and scale globalization of Uganda's emerging youth startups. The YSAU is starting up manufacturing and makerspace facilities, mobile app testing and computer labs, and co-working spaces that will provide early-stage startups with access to all equipment they need to build their minimum viable product, access to local and international expert coaches, and more. Applications close on 15th of July. To learn more and apply, visit ysa.hivecollab.org or call 0774 555 999.
Are you a player in the tourism sector with a struggling business following the COVID pandemic? UDB, in partnership with European Union, is providing financial assistance to businesses operating in the tourism sector. You can access subsidized loan with grants, loan with a tenure of up to 5 years, free business advisory services, and free environmental impact assessment. Visit www.udbl.co.ug/call for applications to apply. Deadline for submission is 31st October 2022 at 5 p.m. For more information, please call 0414 355 509.
Thanks for staying with us. In more updates for the day, with assistance from the Embassy of Ireland, civil societies and the Safer World have expressed concern over the delays to pass the National Peace Building and Conflict Transformation Policy into law. During a high-level national dialogue held at Imperial Kampala, they state that this has escalated efforts to address insecurity ranging from governance, economic and communal matters. Also, lack of policy guidelines to coordinate peace building and conflict transformation remains a fundamental problem in Uganda.
And many times also when you do not have a policy, which means you cannot fund peace building. So now we see that where there are gaps now with funding of peace, there is a likelihood that we will resort to force when conflicts arise. So there are many challenges that come with us not having a framework.
That we have a draft policy that is intended to ensure that we live as one country, that we are peaceful, and that we drive towards development and ensuring that there's coexistence and cohesion in the country.
I want this policy passed or made into law because there are so many delays in the process of the law. And I think it's because there has not been any proper apportioning of responsibilities, not division of labor as it were.
This process can be considered for this session of Parliament. They have set up 64 bills to put before Parliament. We want them to include the 65th one. Passing the National Peace Policy Bill should be one of the considerations of Parliament. The session which started last week.
The structures that need to be in place in order to...
The Court of Appeal has upheld NRM's Milton Muuma Kalulu's victory as a duly elected Member of Parliament for Chigulu South Constituency in Iganga District. This is after court dismissed Ronald Kajela's appeal against Milton Muuma victory, claiming he was not a registered voter.
Ronald Kajerero petitioned the Jinja High Court, alleging that NRM's Milton Muuma Kalulu wasn't an eligible voter to contest for the Chigulu South constituency seat in the 2021 general elections. Justice Susan Binyo of Jinja High Court had earlier dismissed Ronald Kajerero's petition against NRM's Kauma, since he had failed to defend his petition. However, Kajerero appealed the decision. The three justices of Court of Appeal, Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera, Helen Obura and Catherine Bamugemeleire, in their judgment read by the Registrar Henry Twino Muhwez, Court of Appeal dismissed Ronald Kajerero's petition. Justices agreed with the High Court decision that the appellant Ronald Kajerero filed the petition outside court's time.
In the circumstances, we find that the applicant has not proved the existence of special circumstances which would compel us to grant this application for extension of time, and tandem will validate the Court of Appeal failed deliberately. The application to extend time is declined. We therefore disallow the application to validate the appeal, with the result that there is no valid appeal before this court.
NRM's Milton Muuma Kalulu was overjoyed with the justice's ruling and promised to serve the people of Chigulu South constituency.
Who is giving glory to God today for maintaining the victory that was awarded to me by the voters of Chigulu South constituency in 2021. Justice has prevailed today. We just apologize to people of Chigulu South, whereby these people who took us to court have in one way or another deterred development, deterred progress as far as service delivery is concerned.
With this, it's now confirmed that Milton Muuma Kalulu is the duly elected Member of Parliament for Chigulu South constituency in Iganga District. Meanwhile, the Anti-Corruption Court in Kororo has charged and remanded the principal of Omero Technical Institute, Kamba Ben Charis, and Sechiombe Peterson on 2 counts of abuse of office and personating as public officers. Before Magistrate Moses Nabende, the duo pleaded not guilty to the alleged offences.
Having been interdicted by the Minister of Education and Sports, you did an act prejudicial to the interest of your employer. That is to say, you refused to vacate office at the Almero Technical Institute. The incoming principal you regularly hired unauthorized person to talk, private auditor, audit financial records of Almero Technical Institute, thereby undermining government procedures.
Prosecution led by Bileke Safina informed court that inquiries in the matter are still ongoing, thus requesting for more time, which court granted. Although the accused defense legal team was set to apply for bail. This was impossible since the prosecution was not ready. Magistrate Moses Nabende adjourned the matter to 20th July 2022. When the accused will apply for bail, prosecution alleges that Sechiombe Peterson and Kamba Ben-Charis, their actions on 14th June 2021 and 31st May and June 2022 were intended to undermine government procedures for auditing government establishments and also expose government risks and losses and distortion of public records. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugudde, UBC News.
The government of Uganda, through National Water and Sewage Corporation, has secured funding worth 15.1 billion Uganda shillings to implement a new water supply system across the districts of Lyantonde and Tiruhura by December 2022. The water supply project is majorly aimed at ensuring the provision of good quality drinking water to water-stressed areas in the two districts, which also includes the industrial park in Nshara.
Lyantonde and Chiruhura districts have previously faced water supply challenges due to increased demand for water services and extreme weather events during the prolonged dry spell. National Water and Sewage Corporation is constructing a new water supply system worth 15.1 billion to serve the districts of Lyantonde and Chiruhura. The project is to produce 5 million liters of water per day and aims at providing safe water to the two districts, including the industrial park in Nshara and the communities. While inspecting the ongoing works, National Water and Sewage Corporation Managing Director Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha appreciated the Lyantonde and Chiruhura local leadership for their tremendous support towards the project.
We are really very happy because the project we started about 6 months ago is progressing very well, and we are hoping to finish it on time and within cost by December this year. I'm very happy that this plant which we are constructing here on the other side of Lake Kachera will give us another 5 million liters of water per day. So when you get 5 million liters of water per day, you add 2.1 million liters of water per day, you get 7.1 million liters of water per day. This is well above the demand. It is well above the demand that we shall get in the next 10 years.
He urged the people of Lyantonde and Chiruhura to protect the water against pollution and engage in source protection initiatives to curb human activities near the lake. The treated water will be pumped to a 1.5-liter storage reservoir within Nshara Ranch, from where it will gravitate to the areas of Rukukuru, Nshara, to the industrial park, Rushere, and the surrounding areas for domestic, agricultural, and industrial use. The project shall be completed by December 2020. Brian Tumwinebiaruhanga, Benadiga, UBC News.
The National Curriculum Development Center and the Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out the lower secondary curriculum in February 2020, aiming at producing graduates who are competitive on the labor market. The Acting Director, Directorate of Industrial Training in the Ministry of Education and Sports, Dr. Patrick Byakatonda, says students will be equipped with hands-on skills for self-sustenance.
The Acting Director, Directorate of Industrial Training, Dr. Patrick Byakatonda, says learners will be subjected to vocational training to prepare them for gainful employment.
Our role is to sensitize the students, the teachers, about the lower secondary curriculum. Now, the lower secondary curriculum has reached in almost its final stages. The assessment for the first assessment will be in Senior 3 next year. And these students are already now in Senior 2. So the purpose of the curriculum is to prepare learners for the world of work. In other words, wherever they go, they have employable skills.
The Directorate of Industrial Training is in a familiarization tour countrywide in secondary schools to sensitize and inspect the new curriculum that is meant to equip learners with employable skills so that they can start up an income-generating activity when out of school.
The lower secondary curriculum, the normal teaching stops at 2:30. So the entire evening they have co-curricular activities. Those ones are now assessed and certified. The football, the rounders, they are also assessed, and the athletics, they are assessed and certified. So they are already acquiring skills, but also they are doing projects. So those projects will be recognized, but also in addition, we shall assess them practically.
The headmistress, London College of St. Lawrence, Nabuma Habiba, says the curriculum has made the education sector more practical.
The new curriculum for lower secondary is the way to go. It provides the learners with a number of things. It enhances creativity of the learners. We see the learners coming up with projects with their own ideas. There is a lot of research work involved by the learners as they help in educating themselves, and obviously the fact that they participate in the education of themselves, they cannot go amiss.
8 selective subjects for the start to be assessed by the Director of Industrial Training next year are agriculture, art and design, entrepreneurship, performing arts, nutrition and food technology, ICT, physical education, technology and design. Each student will sit for only one occupation according to his competence and convenience.
I'm really grateful for DIT to be here because it has given me a chance to express what I wanted. From the first day I heard about DIT, I heard about DIT during the holidays, and I heard that when you did DIT is not compulsory, you do it according to your own will. So I'm really grateful for DIT to grace us with their presence.
I'm Navka Farida and Ganga Henry.
Some heads of schools are appreciative of the plans to make Kiswahili one of the official languages. The headmistress of St. Stephen's Chetume in Zirowe, Luwero District, Nalumansi Margaret, says the teaching of Kiswahili in all schools is timely.
Water scarcity due to the ongoing extended dry spell is being felt both at family and at schools with a boarding section. As family members move distances to fetch water, so are schools that require water for sanitation and preparing meals for learners. The headmistress, St. Stephen's Chetume, Church of Uganda in Zirowe, Luwero District, Nalumasi Margaret, says water scarcity has complicated business at school because learners and teachers need water daily.
Another challenge is that we don't have water. We just buy water every day on a daily basis. Yet these pupils take 9 jerrycans of porridge per day. That means that we are spending a lot, though we are in a crisis of funds.
This was during the finalization and evaluation tour by officials from the Office of the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyengo, in Bamnanika, led by his political assistant Abdul Karim Waswa, which also coincided with handing over a modern toilet facility to Chetume.
Kirungi ffena tukkiririza mu nsonda emu eya Dr. Jesse Muyingo kyebye tusobozesa okutuuka ku makula kukula nga lino. Kabuyonjo tezikyazimbika, sente zigenze ku kabuyonjo eno nyingi, naye twebaza Katonda nti yakoze eki, twawulira enyiike bwe twatuuka wano nga tewali kabuyonjo.
On the issue of emphasizing the teaching of Kiswahili in schools, Nalumansi revealed that since Uganda is a member of the East African community, it is timely, however, government needs to train Kiswahili teachers and donate textbooks. Waswa promised through the Minister's office to continue lobbying for the communities in the areas, especially on the challenges of water, inadequate teachers, desks for schools, among others. Relatedly, teachers, political leaders and parents in Bamnanika have supported the Ministry of Education program of emphasizing the teaching of Kiswahili language.
Of course, we shall have to learn it, and I know government will
provide teachers for English who will teach teachers, and then all teachers will be able to teach it to learners.
Olubadde lukola ki lutubulamu okubeera nga tugatta n'amawanga amalala. So government yakoze kirungi nnyo okulufuula olw'obuwaze.
Ogende Kenya lulimi olukozesebwa, ogende Tanzania lulimi olukozesebwa, ogende Congo lulimi ne Sudani, ate tuli mu mukago gwa East Africa.
I'm Nafka Farida and Salongo Kasband.
Still in the hour of 1, it is our lunchtime news. Shortly after these messages, I return with more updates making headlines for this day.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's a full-time job to be a great parent or guardian. The decisions we make impact their lives forever. And getting a birth certificate is one of the most important ones. All you need to do is get a birth notification record stamped by a medical officer from the hospital where the baby was born or from the sub-county chief in case it occurred at home. Go to the NERA offices in your area and present the notification record, copy of parent's ID and bank payment slip of 5,000 Ugandan shillings for citizens and $40 for non-citizens. Fill NERA Form 3 while there and a birth certificate will be issued to you. Please note that birth certificates to refugees born in Uganda are free of charge. For more information, visit the NERA office closest to you or call 0800-211-700. This message is brought to you by NERA.
Fun is our flavor. When we're together, the vibe is pretty alright. Our taste is fruity awesome. We are Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment. Enjoy Mirinda Fruity, Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Ratito sokano chonda bakoga tona genda. Omukwano gususeko baby yo amajene dobosi pitwa Dr. Jose Kabili Sara Sapsa Simba takoka tageje mi Uganda superstar. Africa bako wale chitimbure cha UBC West abantu bembarara. University inji tugeno okwera mu gye mulimu obwesindo goma chitimbure cha UBC West. Hati nyewe ngambechi mu gye na blessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest party of 2022 is here. UBC West MP Kahona launches its Mbarara station on Goat Road in Mbarara City with your favorite entertainer, Echitimbulecha UBC West on 23rd July 2022 at Mbarara University Inn. People of Ankole, Chisoro, Chigezi, Toro, Bunyoro, Rwenzori, and all parts of Uganda. Do not miss your cocktail of fun with UBC West presenters, listeners, and supporters. Come, be part of the 2022 biggest
from Nile Avenue. Thank you so much for staying. Straight into our business updates. Uganda farmers have been advised to embrace agriculture mechanization as a necessity for optimal use of arable land in the country. This was echoed during a meeting between stakeholders in the Italian and Ugandan agriculture machinery supply chain.
In Africa, you have wonderful land, wonderful weather. Unfortunately, in Africa, the mechanization of agriculture is very low.
We are even buying from Subha seed. It is a lot of seed we are importing. With this seed, we are achieving a lot of production. Production is high than other than like Netherlands or Kenyan seed.
The President AIMA International Alessandro Malvot has extended an invitation to Uganda farmers and Africa at large to attend the forthcoming International Agriculture and Gardening Machinery Exhibition.
Which means that actually the interest in general for machinery, agricultural machinery, and Italy is trendsetter in the sector, as you know. We are the second exporters in the world of machinery in general. 20% of our exports are entirely done through machinery exports.
We'll be trying to take Italian companies, accompany Italian companies into the market.
This is after realizing that only 11% of African agriculture is mechanized, a situation that has condemned Africa to a net importer of food. Members of the Ugandan delegation have, however, decried high prices of Italian products, justifying their decision to settle for Chinese-made, despite allegations that they are not durable, something that Uganda's ambassador to Guangzhou, Judith Nsababera, dismisses.
Mentioning in particularly in this case Chinese groups and companies. The only problem that they don't provide post-service, post-selling actually, post-purchase services pretty often.
When you go to China, what China does is that it has a production level for every price tag that you have. So you need to hold the people who go to China, especially from Uganda, accountable for the things that they buy and bring to you. Many times people bring things that are only supposed to last 2 weeks and they sell it to you like it's going to last forever.
To a farmer and academician like Professor Donald Lugira Kugonza of Makerere University, establishment of a showroom of Italian-made agriculture machinery in Uganda would yield better returns.
Not many Ugandans can go. Probably the few will go there as tourists. Very few farmers will afford that trip because that's money they could actually put in a machine. So my request was, can they partner with a local company like other companies do, instead of talking about it and then encouraging people to go to the show.
This comes at a time when Italy is only rivaled by the US and Germany in as far as production of agricultural machinery is concerned. Dorcas Chimono, Mary Namkose, UBC News.
More into business, Uganda's financial sector has been affected by the COVID-19 economic slowdown. The chairperson Bankers Association, Sarah Arapta, says the situation has been exacerbated by the slowdown of economic activity, notably in the industry and service sectors. She made this observation ahead of the bankers' 5th annual conference slated for the 25th to 26th of this month.
Conference is expected to focus on supporting the recovery and growth of manufacturing, agribusiness and tourism sectors.
The expected role of the financial sector is to ensure sustainable delivery of access to well-structured, competitive financial services for the manufacturers and related value chain to facilitate the much-needed capital formation. Talking about tourism and hospitality, Uganda has a unique and largely untapped tourism potential in form of ecotourism, bird life, cultural and heritage sites, contrasting sceneries, vast and diverse wildlife, name it. The sector is a key source of employment, government revenue, forex earnings. With some vitality in this sector, we could see huge capacities for experiencing transformative expansion and scale.
Economic pundits agree that the growth of the 3 carefully selected sectors will certainly spur increased profits for the banking sector, improve income for the laborers, and mobilize higher taxes for government. Narrowing the existing financial gaps is therefore critical.
The financial sector, like we always say, is like lifeblood that enables the flow of activity across the economy, and arising from the sheer importance of these 2 sectors and the related linkages, supporting them is critical. We cannot hide our heads that across the globe there is a challenge. There is a war going on, the energy prices are increasing. Globally, central banks, especially the one in America and the UK, they are raising interest rates. That means that even foreign money that would have come in, they get a better return outside, and that means they take that money outside. It can cause, if their international flows are not coming through, it can dry an economy. It means you internally, domestically, must step up economic activity.
Government continues to invest heavily on the industrialization agenda to be at par with its economic vision of 2040. The support from the private sector is therefore timely, fostering the worthwhile target.
Total Energies EP Uganda has reinforced its commitment to sustainability initiatives in road safety, biodiversity and cultural heritage in the Albertine region. This was after the signing of 4 agreements aimed at enhancing road safety, cultural heritage and biodiversity conservation.
Awareness around Budongo Forest Center Reserve.
What we said is now moving into action. There has been a time for communication, a time for studies, now it's time for action. They believe that this development is a threat for the environment, is a threat for the community, for the most vulnerable people, is a threat for the country, and we will prove them wrong to show that instead of it being a threat, it's an opportunity.
During the development of the Tilenga project, double traffic is predicted over the coming years, but to lift it, corporate social responsibility has embarked on implementing the VIA Road Safety and Mobility Program in schools to provide solutions to the challenge.
Working in schools in Kampala, which have earned us being identified with cases here, those have to be the most vulnerable and at-risk schools. And those will be, as part of our pilot phase for this year, we'll be working in 10 schools. We'll be looking not just at training the children in the schools, but most importantly, looking at the infrastructure of the road around the school. Is it adequate for children?
It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. Thank you so much for your company. You make us proud every single time you choose the national broadcaster. It's been an hour of updates for this particular newscast. More news updates will be coming your way later on in our other news hours. Keep watching UBC. Better programs are lined up for you, and of course, you'll also be having parliamentary sessions coming your way. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and from the entire team, have a beautiful Thursday. Thank you so much for your company.